Alright guys, M-Tech Guy here. Now today we've got a job to do on the E46 that I absolutely hate doing on these cars. I've done a couple in the past. I hated every minute of it and I'm really not looking forward to today's job. Now don't get me wrong, if you guys have been following the channel you'll have seen that I absolutely love working on my cars. I probably love working on them as much as I do driving them. If truth be told, I probably like working on them a bit more than I do driving them. I'm a bit weird like that. But anyhow, what's going on with the E46? Well, it's middle of summer here now. I was out in the car the other day, pulled up, did what I needed to do, got back in the car, turned it on, blowers aren't working. Now this is a super common problem on these cars. So basically what it is the final stage resistor has finally come to the end of its life and it's failed. Normally what you'll see when they do fail is it'll sort of come and go and then eventually it'll just stop working altogether. Some other cars, when the final stage resistor fails, normally the fan speed will only work on the highest setting, but I've never experienced that with an E46 to be honest. Normally it'll come and go a little bit, then all of a sudden after a couple of days it'll just fail altogether. So what does the final stage resistor do? Well, basically that's what controls your fan speed for your heater and your air conditioning from the inputs from your heater control panel. Now this is a super common problem on the E46s. I've had a couple fail in the past that I've owned previously, a 330ci coupe and also a 325i wagon, and weirdly enough they both failed within about 2 months of one another. So I got the job done once, hated every minute of it, and then 2 months later it's like, oh yippee, I get to do it all over again, and the job absolutely sucks. So what's the problem? Why does the job suck? Well, the final stage resistor is buried in the center console right up in the right hand footwell. Now to be honest, there's plenty of DIY videos on YouTube on how to change this out, but the majority of them are for left hand drive cars. You'll see them YouTubers making a point of saying how tricky this job is. Well, it's even harder on a right hand drive car because of course you've got the steering column and the pedals in the way, so it makes the job a real adventure, that's for sure. Okay, so let's take a look at the part that I picked up for this one, and I really wanted an OEM one, which is the Beer branded one. Everywhere is out of stock and they're pretty cheap as well, so it's no wonder. So the next one down from that I saw, it was more or less the same price. It was a HT branded one. Now I've never used this company's products before, but hey, with it being the middle of summer here, it was just getting unbearable because you got no ventilation in the car. Alright, you can open the windows, let a bit of ventilation in, but the thing is, here in New Zealand the sun is so strong and so sharp and there's not much cloud cover most days that you'll have the windows down, you're getting scorched to death and burnt by the sun, then you put the windows up and you've got no ventilation, so you're pretty much screwed both ways. So I just wanted to get the job done. So anyway, I ordered the HT branded one, but then I got an email saying, oh, actually, we're out of stock, so now you got to wait. So I thought, really? So I emailed the supplier back, said, look, I either want this one or the Beer one, just whichever comes in first, just send me that one. Both of them were pretty cheap, and it was no wonder they were selling out pretty fast. So they finally got one in stock to send me, and I think out of all the cheap final stage resistors out there, this was the final one available. Now, due to the location of this nightmare part, it's going to be quite tricky for me to film this one, so the video quality and the sound might not be up there 100%, but hey, I don't really care as long as the video serves its purpose and it helps you guys out getting it replaced on your own vehicles. Anyway, enough of my yabbering on. I don't think I can put this job off any longer, so let's go and get stuck into the job. I'm really not looking forward to this. Alright, so if we take a look in the right hand side footwell here, the final stage resistor lives right up here in the centre console behind this plastic panel. So to be able to gain access to it, we first need to remove this plastic under tray that is positioned underneath the steering column here. Now that's held in with 3 screws, one there, one there, one there, and then 2 plastic retainers. There's one there, and then there's a wee plastic pin there. So we'll get them removed and get this plastic tray lowered and out of the way. So now that the under tray is lowered down, we've got a few electrical connectors to disconnect here before we can remove it from the car. So we've got one to the OBD2 connector there, a couple of connectors there to this wee siren, and then this lamp to disconnect there also. So we'll get them connectors undone and get this thing out of the way. So the next step is basically what sucks about this job. So we've basically got to go head first into the footwell here and try and crank our neck round up here to see this final stage resistor. So it's going to be difficult for me to film this, but I'll do my best and see what we can do here. So if we follow that wiring loom there upwards, that connector goes into the back of the final stage resistor there. So in front of that we've got this wee stepper motor, so we need to remove the stepper motor first, get that out the way, and then we've got a much better chance of accessing the final stage resistor there. So there's two screws that hold the stepper motor in. There's one just down there, and then the other one is up on the top here, but it's pretty well hidden. So if we take a look on the top side of the stepper motor there, you can just about make out the bolt there. So basically we're going to go in with the T20 Torx. We're going to remove this lower T20 bolt, and then we're going to go in at the top, and I'll show you what angle to put the Torx tool in there, and then you've got the best chance of accessing the bolt without actually being able to physically see the damn thing. So this is the type of Torx tool I'm going to be using, because you're going to struggle to get like a screwdriver attachment one or a socket up there, because you've got the steering column right in the way there as well. So this is nice and slim, it's not too long, so we're going to get in with that. We might need to give it a bit of extra torque on the small crank end there just to get it started, but we'll see how we go. It might just be finger tight. So we'll get that lower bolt out first out of the stepper motor, and then I'll show you how to get that upper one, which is basically the most difficult part of this job, but we'll get it done. So that's the lower one. We'll just get this one out first. And you just want to go careful, because you don't want to drop that behind the carpet and have to go fishing for it. And that was just finger tight, so I didn't need any extra torque, like putting a spanner on the end of the Torx tool there. Right, let's find this difficult one now. Right, so I've actually got the Torx tool on the bolt there, so that'll give you an idea of the straight shot where you need to get in there to get it. There is a little lip on the edge of the housing for the stepper motor there on the left hand side, so if you just follow that down, it pretty much guides it in, but it's probably going to take you a few goes to get the tool located right in the Torx screw head there. See if we can get a better look with the camera here. It's just so difficult to get in with any, there's no room. So that's more or less where the bolt is there, so I'm going to continue removing the screw now, and we'll get the stepper motor out of the way. So after a bit of struggling and wrestling, I managed to get that upper bolt out, so we can now remove the stepper motor. So you'll see, if you look up here, I've got like a wee plastic hook where it's just slotted in the plastic behind it, so we're going to slide that forward, move it out of the way. Okay, so with the stepper motor pulled to one side here, if we look behind it, there's an electrical connector for us to disconnect right there. And then there's this rod up here that we can unclip, and then we can get this thing right out of the way. So here we have it, that's that stepper motor. What a mission to get that out. So that's where you can unclip the rod there. It basically just pushes up, the rod just pushes up out of its clip there, and that's the electrical connector there that we disconnected. Now, if we take a look at the front side here, you can see that's that really awkward bolt to get to, and then the easy ones down the bottom there. So if we look from above, you can see there's actually almost a guide to get you in there, but because you can't see and because you're upside down in the footwell there, it's hard to get that tool right on the head of the bolt just right. So just take your time. It does take a few goes. What you got to be careful of is there's the other bolt which also takes a T20 just above it about here, which is one of the retainers for the final stage resistor, so it's quite easy to get that one by mistake. So you just want to be down, if you follow the groove there, and you should be able to get it started with enough patience, but good luck having any patience doing this job. Okay, so there she is. That's the final stage resistor. So the retaining bolt up there takes a T20, and we've got another one over at the side there. So what we're going to do is leave this electrical connector connected for now and take out the two bolts. So now we've got the two Torx bolts out of the final stage resistor. We can now remove it, but it's not just as easy as sliding it out. There's a wee clasp on the right hand side that needs to be pushed to the right to be able to unclip it to slide it out, but there's barely any room to move that tab. It's incredibly tricky to be able to pull it far back enough to be able to give yourself enough room to get the final stage resistor out. So that's why we're leaving the electrical connector connected for now. It's just give us something to hold on to while we try and manipulate this out of there. So obviously you don't want to be pulling and yanking on the wires there. Just make sure you hold on to the plastic piece, the connector itself, and not just give you a bit of extra purchase to give you a chance of getting this thing out. All right, she's out. Finally, what a mission. So, looks like this one has been replaced at some point, but the car is pretty old. This car's a 2001. It might even be on its third one, you never know. So, the original one is quite a bit bigger than this one. It's got much bigger, fatter tangs on there. This is very similar to the one we're going to be fitting today. But we've got the Citronic one. Made in Germany though, so I guess it's done its dash. Compare it to the new one, pretty much identical. I wouldn't be surprised if these came out the same factory, who knows. But anyhow, let's get the new one fitted and then let's test this thing out. So we'll get this thing reinserted, we'll get the electrical connector back on and the two Torx screws. So there we go, that's the new final stage resistor clipped in place, and I've got the two Torx bolts tightened up there, so that's nice and secure. So next up we can refit the electrical connector to the back of the final stage resistor, and then we'll refit the stepper motor. That's the electrical connector plugged back into the back of the stepper motor, and the actuating rod just clipped back in position there. So now we can feed this back in and have all the fun of putting these two Torx bolts back in position. Yippee. There we go, that's the stepper motor bolted back in position. So now we can refit the under tray here. And don't forget to reconnect all the electrical connectors before you bolt that back in position. So there we have it, that's everything back together. So now all there is left to do is give her the big test. Well, that's a good sign. So there we go, guys, that's the job finally done. Guys, the job's an absolute nightmare, but that's the steps on how to go about it on a right-hand drive E46. If you found the video interesting or useful, don't forget to give it a like, and make sure you go and check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more BMW DIY content. Consider subscribing if that's your cup of tea. I'm MTech Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.